We'll begin in just a minute, just giving the crowd a few moments to build up before we get started. Until then, I'm just here meditating. Hi, Angel. Or, Angel. Yeah, I'm reading my own name. Hi, Ethel. Give me just a moment and we'll get started. I am just meditating for a second. So we'll begin in just a moment. I just need a last minute to clear everything. Ethel, you're so silly. Hi, Michelle. Okay. Let's see. We'll get started in just a moment. I'm waiting for the audience to build a little bit more. Hi, Lakita. Nicholas, if you want to be read, we have a list that we're going by. If you go back out to the main page, it's pinned to the top of the page. It says sign up list. If you put your name in the comments, you'll be added to the list. It's a pretty big list, so I'm not sure if we'll get to you or not tonight. It just depends on who shows up, because if most of those people on the list don't show up, there is always still a chance that we'll get through the list, but no guarantee. So just depends on who all makes it tonight. Hi, Anita. Weird. Oh, there we go, my comments. Hi, Nicole. Yep, I got my headband. I think it works really well, so I've just been wearing it every time I read because it's so much easier wearing it than not wearing it. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to grab a couple of napkins so that every time I pick my water up, I'm not dripping all over. Hold on just a moment. Okay. There we go. That'll be better. Hi, Jennifer. Well, welcome, guys. I'm so glad that you're all here. I really appreciate you joining me tonight on your Friday night. Hi, Christina. Hi, Lisa. I'm really excited to spend some time with you, and I really know that you have a choice on what you do on Fridays, even if it's just relaxing and watching some TV. So I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I know that you don't have to, and the fact that you choose to really means a lot to me, and it makes me very happy. So thank you. Hi, Alicia. Glad you can join me. You're welcome. Okay, so people will continue to wander in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, so if you're just joining me for the first time tonight, because I see a couple new names, I do read from a list. Some people have been waiting for a while, so in order to make sure everybody gets a turn and to try and be fair, I do go by a list, and it makes it a little easier rather than trying to, for me anyway, personally, rather than feeling like I'm skipping anybody, or it just makes it easier. So if you'd like to have a reading, it is free. All you need to do is go back out to the main page. I'm going to be here for a while, so feel free to leave and come back. Go to the main page and find the pinned sign-up list. It's pinned to the top of this page, the main part of the page. Put your name in the comments, and you will be added to the list. So there are a lot of people on this list, and that's why I go by the list too, is because some people have been waiting a while. And if everybody were to show up, then there's no way we would get to you tonight if you signed up tonight. However, everybody never shows up at the same time. So a lot of times we wind up skipping through the list, and sometimes we get most of the way through it. Sometimes, actually one time we did get all the way through it, I think. So go ahead and add your name, and if we don't get to you this week, then you have a chance next week as well. So don't be discouraged by how long the list is. It all depends on who shows up. But we will get to you as soon as possible. I do fairly long readings. They can range anywhere from 15 minutes to 45. On the high end, usually it's averages about a half hour. I do that to give you a good quality reading, to actually give you the time that you need to get an answer or two. But I do also, I try not to be like the readers that skip through and try and get to so many people all at once. That's their thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they only spend a second or two with you, and then they hurry up and they blurt out what they're going to say, and sometimes you barely get an answer, or you don't even comprehend it, and you're like, that's it. So I do give longer readings, but because of that, not as many people get read each night. So I usually read about 3 or 4 hours, but tonight we'll have to play it by ear. It may only be a couple of hours. I've had a really long, stressful day today, a very physical day. It's already taken a toll on my energy. So I considered canceling tonight, but I said no. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I really want to. I feel up to it mentally. So please be patient with me and understand if I can only read for a couple of hours. A couple of hours itself is draining energy-wise, but I enjoy it, and it fills me up in other ways. But I'm just letting you know it won't be as long probably as a typical night, unless I get energized from you all. So that's always possible. Sometimes I get excited and get carried away. But anyway, let me check my messages, see what comments I've missed while I've been talking, because I didn't see them at all. You're so welcome, Christina. Thank you. Okay, well, we never took you off the list if you are on the list. If you haven't been read, we don't take you off the list, but you might want to go back and check just to make sure. If I were you, Christina, and I would check just to make sure you are on the list, but if you're not, it's an error, a mistake by accident, because we don't take you off unless you've been read. So you stay on every week, even if you miss, until you get read. Hey Lisa, thank you. I'm okay. I really actually had a decent day feeling-wise, physically, but I had a very straining, stressful day that made me have to work physically and emotionally. So I'm okay, but I just probably won't read as long as I normally do tonight. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hi Tinka. Great. Christina Ann, you are on the list. That's wonderful. Thank you, Anita. Okay, so anyway, moving right along so we can get into everything, I need to give you my little spiel, and that is I am a psychic and a medium. I can speak to the dead, but more importantly and exciting for me is not only can I connect with your loved ones, but I can connect with angels and your spirit guides, and they can help your spirit loved ones come through, as well as have their own personal messages for you. So I am able to connect with spirit clairvoyantly, which means I receive pictures in my mind of whatever they want me to see. It may be an actual image of something, it may be a symbol for something. I also can hear in my mind clairaudiently, so I get voices of spirit that sometimes it's individual words, sometimes it is full sentences. Then I also get clairsentience, which is clear feeling. I get feelings and emotions that they want to share, whether it be what they feel towards you, whether it was something they went through, or how they felt when they passed. They can actually put those feelings and emotions onto me so that I can experience it to give you the message that's behind it. I also have claircognizance, so I do get just knowledge, facts downloaded into my head that come from spirit and usually my angels and guides to let me know what actual knowledge I need to do. I don't actually see animal spirits, Christina. Well, sometimes I do. I mean, sometimes they'll show me an image of, say, a black cat or something like that, but I can connect with spirits that are animals. When it comes to animals, they're just souls like we are, and they are souls of energy, so they come through just like a person would, and unless they specify to me and tell me that they're an animal, or you tell me that we're trying to connect with them, I wouldn't even know, because they're just like any other spirit. They have feelings and emotions just like us. They do communicate a little bit differently, but yeah, they're pretty much just like typical people, unless they show me an actual picture of themselves. But a lot of times they don't. And to be honest with you, they don't normally come through for me that often unless I'm really trying to connect with them and doing it intently. So anyway, that's how I work. I do have problems with names sometimes because things can be misunderstood really easily when it's energy trying to give you a voice in your head. So the names can come out a little off. They can sometimes just have a letter or two switched. Sometimes it'll sound very similar to a real name, but it will be a different name. So if I say a name to you and it sounds very familiar, or you can recognize who it is, it's just off a little bit, please tell me and just acknowledge that you know who it is. Instead of Farley, it's Charlie. And I mean, if it's that close, then it's correct. I'm just hearing it wrong. Spirit's right. I'm the medium in between, and I can be have difficulty hearing it. So just let me know that. And if you don't know who the person is that I'm saying, keep in mind that sometimes spirit will tell you random people that you know just to validate that it's them, that they are here with you, to let you know that, hey, it is Dad, and I'm going to name your brothers and sisters or your grandmother or whoever I'm here with to let you know that it is me. So I may just give you some random names, and I need to know if they resonate with you. And yes, Christina, I can talk to them here. So I need to know if it resonates with you, if it makes sense, if you recognize that name. If you do, great. If you don't, that's fine. Just let me know. It may still apply to you and you just don't realize it. You might not remember that you have somebody in the family by that name, or you may not realize that there's a family friend, old family friend of your parents by that name, and you'll find out later when you ask your dad or whatever after the reading, or sometimes you'll remember it or it'll come to you a couple days later. But if that name doesn't resonate with you, I always keep a note of it because there's a chance that it's for somebody else here. So, hi Anna. If somebody is here and you're watching and you know that they just said that name doesn't resonate for them, but you think it applies to you, please don't hesitate to speak up in the comments and let me know, because I can come back to you as soon as I finish up this person's reading to see if this spirit is a loved one for you. So I just kind of have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and if it doesn't make sense to me, then I may just give you the pieces of the puzzle and see if it makes sense to you. But if it does make sense to me, then I give you the whole message. Sometimes I have no problems giving you an entire message. Sometimes we kind of struggle through it together till we figure it out. But basically, I need you to tell me 3 things when it's your turn. Oh, sorry, what I was going with is that sometimes spirit will talk over one another, and I might start hearing the names of another spirit, or another spirit is saying the name before it's their turn. I ask them not to before we come in here, but sometimes they do anyway. So when it's your turn, or you're up next, which we usually tell you that you're up next, I need you to tell me 3 things. I need you to tell me what kind of a reading you would like. And by that, I mean, do you want a card reading? Because I do cards, and I'll show you the ones that I have with me tonight. I have the Psychic Tarot Oracle. It's an oracle card that are based off of tarot cards, so they're very similar to tarot cards and have a lot of the traditional tarot cards. They're just named differently, but you can recognize them if you're familiar with tarot. I have the past life cards, so if you need to know a question answered about your past lives or try and identify a past life that you need to work on, we can do that. And then I have the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle, which tells you what crystals are resonating with you at the moment. It tells you the message and tells you what crystals you can use around that subject. And lastly, all of those are usually used to contact your spirit guides or ask your higher self or your spirit guides a question. But then I have this deck that's called the Spirit Messages. This is an oracle deck where you actually use this to ask your loved ones a question. Whatever particular loved one you're trying to reach out to, you can ask them a question with the cards to see what their message is for you. So tell me if you want a card reading, a mediumship reading, which would be talking to a loved one that's passed, or it could be a spirit guide or an angel, and as like we were just talking about, it could even be an animal. They don't always come through though, but sometimes they will if we try. Let me see. No, this deck was, well, I mean, it depends on what you consider expensive. This crystal deck was $20, but you can find it certain places on Amazon a little bit cheaper, and you might even find it on eBay a little cheaper, and sometimes they even have these at half-price books. So if you can find them. Now, I prefer to only use new decks. I don't like anybody else to have touched my decks because they really become accustomed to your energy. So I recommend buying a brand new deck, but sometimes they even have new decks at half-price books. Okay, so mediumship reading or a pendulum reading. Pendulum meaning I ask a loved one or your spirit guides a question with the pendulum and they answer. Or you can do a combination of all of that and just say combo or combination. So cards, mediumship, pendulum, or a combination of all of it. So that's when I need you to start telling me what kind of reading you want. Then I need you to tell me if you have a specific question. We will focus on one question. If you have enough time and your first question gets answered really quickly, then we can address a second question. But for the sake of trying to give everybody plenty of time and a good quality of reading, we try and keep it to 1 or 2 questions. And it just depends on how long it goes, how quickly we figure out your messages as to how, if we can move on to a second question or not. But trust me, you get a plenty decent quality reading, even with just 1 or 2 questions. Hi, Penny Lane. Okay, so question, type of reading, and third would be who do you want to connect with? So do you want to connect with a spirit guide, or do you want to connect with a specific loved one? Whoever you want it to be, I can try. I can't guarantee, but I've got a pretty good track record of connecting with most people I attempt to. So we can try anybody, but if they don't come through, then we'll see who does come through for you, because I can almost guarantee somebody will be coming through to speak to you. So those are the 3 things I need from you when it's your turn. And the only other rule, which isn't a rule, it's just a courtesy that I ask everybody, comments can really start to lag, and they get really far behind at times. So please, please, please try to remember, if you're answering a question for me, please specify what you're saying yes or no to. If you just say yes, and all of a sudden I don't get that answer until 2 or 3 questions later, I've done asked 2 or 3 more, and that yes comes up, I don't know what you're referring to. So by the time I say, what did you mean yes to? Then you have to reply again, and then we have to wait another minute for that to come through. So it just takes up a lot more time that way, and then it prevents us having an extra reading at the end for somebody else getting read. So if you can remember, and everybody forgets from time to time, and that is perfectly fine. Hi Renee, hi my love. But if you can remember, please say, yes, I had a miscarriage 6 months ago, or no, it wasn't high school, whatever it is. Just doesn't have to be full sentences, just say what you're referring to. Hi Brandy. Christina, you need to pick one main loved one that you want to try and connect with, and you can have a couple backups in mind, but pick the one you want the most, and we'll try that one first. Now, if I can connect with them, then we'll focus on them. If I cannot, then we'll move on to the next person in your choices. And if we do fit in 2 questions, then we can address 2 people, 2 different loved ones if you'd like. But if it takes a long time for your first question to be answered, and it takes up the entire 15, 30 minutes, whatever, then you'll only probably get to speak to that one person. But we can try. It just depends on how fast. Some spirit take a lot longer to reply and get their message across because they're new at it, or they don't have enough energy to come through, so it takes a while. Others are right on it. Spirit guides are experts at this kind of thing, so they always come through pretty quickly with their messages. And the only time I have problems with spirit guides is if it's on me, like my energy isn't grounded enough or something's interfering with it. So if it's a loved one, they tend to be a little bit slower and have problems sometimes. It just depends. Okay, so remember 3 things you're going to tell me. Remember to be open about the names. The names can be a little off. But everything else should make sense and resonate to some degree. And if it doesn't, chances are it will at some point. So I just ask that you guys be patient and work with me, and we can have some really beautiful, wonderful messages. So if you're just joining me, I did mention at the beginning that I might, it's not for sure, but I might only be reading for a couple of hours tonight versus 3 or 4 like my normal, because I had a really, really long day, so it's going to depend on how much energy I have. So please don't be disappointed if I do call it quits a little bit early, but I'm getting started a little later, starting around 10, so I'll go till probably at least midnight. So just letting you guys know that in advance. Nicole, did we figure it out yet, babe? Who is up first? And while you do that, I'm just going to go back and read any comments I missed. Hi, Lucille. Great, you read cards too? That's fantastic. And oh yes, Christina, I am sorry, I did miss this comment. I can read pets that are still alive. I'm just not as good at, I hate to say it, but I'm not as good at it as I am dead ones. I can, but I can't always. It depends. But I can try. I can do my best. I'm not an actual animal communicator yet. I've sort of begun to be, but I'm not that great at it. I can't like do full telepathy with them, but I can read them intuitively in the sense of get messages from guides about something that could be wrong with them or why they may do a certain thing that they do. So I can give it a try. I just can't promise that it'll go as well as we hope. But sometimes spirit blows me away and helps me, and we get much better details than I expected. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Michelle is first. Yay, Michelle Lazar. Okay. Great. Michelle, when you are able, if you could hand me those 3 things that I asked. The question you have, what type of reading, and who you'd like to communicate with, if anybody's specific. If you don't have a specific question or have a specific person you want to contact, that's okay. We can do a general reading. It just is a lot easier if you have somebody to specific or a specific question. You're going to get more detailed answers, and it's going to make more sense to you. A general reading is fantastic, but it's just that. It's more general. It's more broad ranging about a topic, or it may be you can ask what who's here for you, who wants to come through, and what their message is. So don't get discouraged if you can't think of something specific. That's fine. It's totally up to you. Okay. I'm so glad to have my Nicole back, and I apologize that my dog is barking in the background. I'm going to tell my husband to let her in. I think they closed the bedroom door and left her out, so she's not too happy. All right, hopefully she'll quiet down. Okay, Michelle, did you have your question or who you'd like to connect with? Oh, you guys, while I'm waiting for Michelle. Okay. If you guys are capable, I know some of you have no idea how to do this, and that's okay. Or you can even say a little quick prayer. Set a positive intention, saying something positive in your mind about the scenario. I don't know why, but right before getting ready to come on here, when I was preparing, twice I got a warning kind of tone in my left ear. Usually when I get this particular tone in my left ear, it's a warning sign of something. And yes, I'm the psychic and the medium, and I should be able to figure that out, you would think. But nothing came through when I asked what that was about, and I didn't have time to sit and wait for it. I needed to get on here because it happened right before here. So, reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't know if that means they're trying to tell me Facebook isn't going to work right, or if they're trying to tell me Spirit's going to be a little difficult tonight, or if they're trying to tell me that something's going to go wrong during the reading. I don't know. It could be anything. I don't think it's anything serious, but the reason I'm bringing it up is, first of all, in case we do have problems, you will know that I told you ahead of time that something was possibly going to happen. But also, if you are able to send positive energy, if you're capable of doing that, if everyone would do that and help add your energy to the collective, of being here. Just by being here, you help with that. But think positive thoughts. Think positive thoughts. Say a quick little prayer, or ask Archangel Michael to protect us and make everything go smooth. Whatever you feel like doing and are drawn to do, if you could add some positive energy this way or to the group, that would be great. Thank you. Because, yeah, I don't want to, whatever they're trying to warn me about, we want to keep the warning not necessary. Okay, did we lose Michelle? Did anybody see Michelle's question? She might have gotten knocked off, but a lot of times this isn't that unusual. When somebody finally gets their turn, Spirit can interfere and prevent their question from coming through. Oh, there she is. Yay, Michelle. I got it. Okay. Or we could just be that behind on the comments. So, let's see. Combo. Okay. Father. All right. We can do that, Michelle. Fantastic. Okay, Michelle, give me just a moment to connect, and I will be right with you. Okay, Michelle. Now, these could be spirit guides, or they could be somebody that you know, but I'm hearing the name Don, and I'm hearing the name Charles. I do believe your father is here, but I'm trying to confirm whether he's saying these things, or if there's somebody else here for you as well. So do the name Charles or Don mean anything to you, Michelle? It could be family member, friend, co-worker, living or deceased. But if you could let me know if either of those names mean anything to you. And while I wait for that answer, I will talk to Dad, see that I can connect with him here. I believe he is here. I just didn't fully connect yet. I'm going to connect with, while I'm waiting, I'm going to connect with my phone to see, make sure my comments are not as far behind on here. Okay. Okay, Michelle. Those are quite possibly your spirit guides. Okay. Donna. Michelle, do you know a Donna? Because that's possible, Christina, if you felt that or heard that. I will ask your dad about your son. But while I'm waiting for you to tell me if you do know Adana, can you also tell me, do you have a cat? And if so, does he go outside? So if you could tell me if you, okay, no Donna. Yeah, this might be your guide that's with him. I'll confirm that in a minute, so I'm writing down the names just in case. But if they're not, then they're for somebody else. So we'll get to that. All right. So do you have a cat? And if so, does it go outside? Okay, no cat. Have you had a cat coming around lately that you've noticed or seen on your property? A stray, maybe? Why? I'm just trying to figure out why he's bringing up a cat. So, okay. Thank you, Michelle. Let's see what he's talking about the cat, because he's telling me that there's been a cat around lately, and I need to find out why he's bringing it up. Oh, okay. And this probably, I mean, I'm sorry, but Spirit brings up weird things. I guess I'm getting that he is worried about this cat, and even though it's not your cat, the reason he's bringing it up is because it's been in really close to danger a couple of times lately. And he just showed me an image of a cat behind the wheels of a car, like a parked car. And I think he's worried that you might hit this cat. So he's like giving me the impression that when you go out to get into your vehicle, make sure the cat's not around or under your car before you pull out. And like I said, I know that's a funny thing to come up with, the first thing he would talk about, but I mean, he's trying to avoid you from having something that you would feel really bad about and have to explain to the neighbor. So I feel like that's all it is. It's just like a warning that he's, evidently this happened recently, like maybe today, and you didn't realize it, that the cat, you didn't hit the cat, but I guess the cat has done this. He saw it sitting behind your tires like today or recently, and that's why he's bringing it up. Yeah. Yeah, he's showing me it running away. Like it does run and would be easy to shoo it away. Yeah, I feel like he's saying you would be devastated if you hit this cat, and he doesn't want that for you. So you got that message out of the way. I'll go ahead and ask him about your son, but that was like something he really wanted to come through with right away. Like I said, it must have just happened in order for him to be that concerned about it. Now, don't be surprised if you go out tomorrow or the next couple of days and find it under your truck. It's funny how those things happen. Okay, let me ask him about your son. Okay, Michelle. He said yes, he does. He said he's with your son all the time. That he watches over him, and he said he thinks that your son sees him and knows him. But, I mean, knows that something's there, but he doesn't think he knows that it's him, who he is. He's still talking. Hold on just a second. He said he worries because he's trying to, he's just watching over him and he's just reaching out to him, and sometimes he thinks he scares him. But I don't know if that's the actual voice that he is hearing call to him, so I'm asking. Hold on. Okay, Michelle. He knows that it's your dad. Okay. Okay. He's saying he doesn't always come through the same way, depending on energy, how much energy he can muster, and what he can do that day based on the environment and what's going on. He doesn't always appear to your son in the same way. Oh, wow, Michelle, I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow. Yeah, so what he's saying is sometimes it's obvious to your son who he is, but sometimes he can come through and just look like a black mass or a shadow, and he worries then that he doesn't recognize him, that it might scare him. He said there's actually somebody else that calls your son's name. Hold on, he didn't get to finish telling me when I stopped to read your message, your comment, so let me see who this is. Okay, Michelle. Do you notice any paranormal activity other than your dad around the house? The reason I ask is because he's telling me that there's actually a spirit that tries to talk to your son, tries to get his attention, but it's a little boy. I heard like 10 or 11. I think his name's Ivan or something similar to Ivan, but it sounded pretty clear like Ivan. He's totally innocent. He's not a danger at all. He just wants to get his attention. But he said he can change his voice, and he likes to play changing the sound of his voice. I think this little boy died of leukemia somewhere on the property. Okay. All right, Michelle. Good. That's great that you used your pendulum for that. Yeah. So yeah, Dad says it's nothing to worry about. But yeah, there was this little boy trying to get his attention a lot. Other than your dad does come around a lot, and he actually said don't be surprised if you actually see him at some point, because he thinks you can and might. He said that, sorry, my phone's going off here, guys. I turned it off and it's still going. Okay. My ringtone. Anyway, yeah, Dad says he does. He thinks that you might see him at some point. He said, don't be surprised if you see me leaning over him to give him a kiss, or especially when he's sleeping. He said, so don't be startled if you feel my energy or see something and aren't sure if it's me or not. He says, because I am here all the time. And he said that your son is very well protected between him and his spirit guides. He said he is a magnet for spirit, so don't be surprised at that your little boy just attracts spirit, but good spirits, and he's very protective. He said he's extremely high vibrational. His vibration is very high for his age, and because of that, um, he's going to draw positive spirit and be able to avoid the negative. He will sense and feel negative energy at times. So if you're able to help him ground and protect himself, that would be something that I would recommend. But he, for the most part, is only going to see and hear things that are positive because of the those that are around him protecting him. Let's see. Yeah, he's great. He's like, he sounds very much at peace, but let me ask him about his sisters, and I'll get you some more info. He said, oh, honey, don't worry about me. I'm fine. He said, I'm so sorry that things had to end the way that they did. He said, I wish that could have been different. He said, but I'm absolutely fine now. He said, I miss talking to everybody tremendously, everybody on this side, and them hearing him and being able to communicate. He said, but this is a much more peaceful place. No pain, no suffering. And he is with all of his loved ones that have passed on. He said, everybody's here. And yes, about the sisters. He said to have your little boy be outside as much as possible in nature and barefoot to keep him grounded. That'll also keep his vibration up, so it'll keep him feeling good and protected even more. That way, if he can't meditate, it's okay. Being outside, even just activity, the singing and dancing and being goofy like kids can be. I'm telling him for you, Michelle. He said, yes, Michelle, he wishes to. He says he's aware of everything that you've been through, and he's sorry for what he put everybody through. He said he just couldn't take it or stand the thought of waiting to see what else was going to happen. He said the waiting to see what was going to happen was the torture. And he felt like he needed to go on his terms. He got a little defiant kind of when he said that, like, it was going to be on my terms, the way I chose. But now, he said, but now I regret that because I know what it put you guys through. And he said if I could redo that, I would. Because I didn't want you to have to live with that thought and that image. You know, the visualization of what he went through. And he underestimated how hard that was going to be and didn't realize it until it was too late. He said he loves you and can't wait to be reunited so that you guys can be together and have better relationship. He's saying, I'm sorry, hold on, my comments got stuck here. Oh, Jordan. He said, I'm not disappointed in you. He said, I know what you've done and what you've attempted to do. And he said, I'm proud of that. It's not your fault that things have played out the way that they have. And he said, a lot of it, he said, I'm taking responsibility for my part. A lot of it is my fault. I had no idea. He said, for the things that I did when I was alive, before I took my own life, and then the part of taking my own life. He said, I was stubborn. He said, I could be prideful. And he said, and I could be selfish. He said, but I didn't see that till I got over here, and everything was in perspective. He said, on this side, you see things from a whole different perspective once you know that you've lost everything that you had, and you see how precious it all was. And he said, I was an idiot at times. And he said, and unfortunately, I think I gave that to your brother. But he said, but I'm sorry for the parts that I played in it. He said, I'm not proud of a lot of the things that I did. And I feel like I wasn't always there. I didn't respond to you and your brother the way that I should have a lot of the times. And I should have stopped and thought first. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying, I am truly sorry now for the stupid things that I did. He said, I know I wasn't always there for you the way that I should have been. And I did some really stupid things. And he said, but one day I'm going to make it all up to you. And I'm trying to now from this side. But when you and I are reunited, I will make it up to you. He said, so I'm trying to do that right now by looking after you, Jordan, and the rest of the family. That made him laugh. That made him smile. He said, yeah, that's good. He said, if I could do anything, he said, I could teach that. A good example of what not to do. AJ, his grandson. Let me ask him. Does AJ play sports, Michelle? or this could be Jordan, but I think he's referring to AJ when I asked him that question. Does he play sports? He showed me football, but football could just be symbolic of sports in general. Okay. Yeah, because he showed me football, but then he showed me like it wasn't specific to football. It was kind of like showing me football, but then there was like a trophy rack for like sports awards. Now it wasn't like an MMA belt or anything like that, but that would be his way of validating that he knows he's really good. And he's saying yes. Yes. But he said, that's fantastic and I'm proud of him, but I'm afraid he's going to get hurt. He said, it's kind of like a badass thing for him to be, and it's so cool, but at the same time, it's dangerous. But he just said, but I'm really proud of you and Jordan. Well, he said, you and your son. And how great you guys are becoming. He said that it's all wonderful what AJ is doing, but it's what he enjoys doing. And he said, and I just am proud of you for just being you and the wonderful people that you are and that you're becoming. And he said, and I feel like despite all of the adversity that you've had to overcome, that you've really done the best that you can. And he said he's just really proud of the person that you are despite everything. He said you've stayed true to who you are and you've not let all of this BS change you. He said you may feel like you've changed a lot, but only from the sense of you've learned and grown stronger. And that's what he's proud of. Okay. We can either continue to talk to him or we can find out what your gifts are, Michelle. But I would need to talk to your guides about that, or I could go through your dad, but it would be like in a roundabout way. So it's up to you, but before you run out of time and we have to move on, I want to give you the option of which way you want to go with it. Yeah, Michelle, that's what he's saying, and I'm so glad that you're able to receive that message. That's really precious. Okay, so while I wait for Michelle's answer on how to take this, which direction to take the rest of her reading, we can go ahead and start figuring out who would be next if we don't know yet. But I'm not finished with Michelle. I just want to give you time to figure out who's next. Okay. He said, I love you too, and I'm always going to be here. All you've got to do is think about me or say my name, and if I'm not there, I will be there the second that you do that. He said, don't be surprised if you begin to be able to start hearing me without the pendulum. He said if you work on your meditating and continuing to bring your vibration up, that he thinks you'll be able to start hearing that. And I think he's saying that because he knows that we're about to talk about your gifts. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Hi, Angie. Okay, so let me see which guides are here, and then we'll ask about your gifts, okay? Okay. Chart 1, chart 2. All right, let's see. All right, I have a guide coming through for you, and it's actually Charlie. I said Donna and Charles, and this is actually Charlie. So that's why I was hearing Charles. Okay, let me ask her. Okay. All right. So, for those of you that have not seen me read before, when I ask about somebody's spiritual gifts, I always verify what comes through. I channel the answer first from your guides, and then once I get the answers, I always verify the answers with the pendulum, and that's for two different reasons. For one, the different gifts can sound alike. Clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience. They all can sound very similar. And the other reason is because this is way too important of information for me to hear in properly and give you incorrectly. So I know how important this is to you guys, and I don't want to risk telling you the wrong thing and have you working at something so hard just to find out that I was wrong. So I always double check. So give me just a moment. I have what she channeled to me, Charlie, her angel. But now I'm going to verify it with the pendulum. And once I have a clarification, and I actually clarify it twice with the pendulum. Once with my sheet, I have sheets that have all of the gifts on them, and the ones that they tell me, I go across and ask them to tell me for sure that it is or isn't what their gift is. And then lastly, I verify it one more time with the yes/no chart. So, is she clairvoyant? Yes. So I get triple methods of confirming this for you guys, just so that I don't make any mistakes, because even though I usually channel very well, I'm not perfect. No medium is, so we can always make a mistake, and this is way too important. So it does take a moment, so just bear with me for a minute, and then I'll be right back with you to tell you everything that I found out. So, let's see. And I always say I want Michelle's guide, Charlie, to answer these questions. Thank you, Lucille. And bear with me a second, because I have to explain to Charlie how to use this particular chart. The answers are backwards. Is Michelle Lazar clairvoyant? Hold on just a moment. That one's a little too light. I got a fan blowing and it's not helping, so I use the heavier one here. I'm sorry, hold on. Fetty,
Yeah.
you didn't close the refrigerator all the way. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Yay. Where'd my pen go? There we go. Check on that one. That one's correct. Is Michelle. It's funny you say that, Michelle, because that was my husband. You're absolutely right. He just left the refrigerator partially open. Didn't realize it didn't close all the way. That's funny. Check on that one. Okay. Here, audience. Okay. Is Michelle Lazar clairaudient? Awesome. Is Michelle Lazar? And that is the truth, Anita. That is for sure. Now, my man has come a long way through the years, but he's still never completely grown up. That is for sure. I think he is the biggest of my 4 kids, and I only have 3. So you can figure that one out. Oops. Okay. Is Michelle Lazar an energy healer? There we go. Yes on that one. Told you it takes a little bit of time to do this, but it's worth it in the end because we get some really cool stuff. So, well, that one was quick. That was a strong one. Couple more and we're done here. Thank you guys. That means a lot to me. Is Michelle Lazar a lucid dreamer? Okay. Last one to check here. Check on that. Okay. So rather than confirm all of one of these at a time, I'm just going to start with, are all of the gifts that I have written down for Michelle Lazar correct, accurate and correct? Did I channel them properly? And I got a yes on that, which means we are finished and ready to do the reveal. Okay, so Michelle, keep in mind, these are your main gifts. You may have another 1 or 2 of them out there, but they focus on a specific set that are your natural abilities. They may take some work to develop them, but they're going to come a lot easier to you than somebody that does not have these as their natural abilities. Now, because there are other abilities out there that are similar to these, once you master one of these, don't be surprised if you develop another gift down the line that is very similar to it, because a lot of them have the same concept and the same way of developing them. I mean, there's so many different gifts that all apply to your third eye. And once you strengthen and open your third eye, it's only natural that you develop a few other abilities here and there. But this is a pretty big list to begin with, so you may not, but I just always let people know that if you already know that you're experiencing something else and I don't list it, it's just because this is your main list and these are going to be the ones, these are going to be your strengths and your main abilities. But it's not a total exclusive list, so it'll at least give you an idea. And now you can let me know if you already know of some of these, but if not and they haven't developed yet, they will in the future. But like I said, you may have to put some time and effort into them, developing them. First and foremost, by raising your vibration. If you raise your vibration by a lot of different things, there's a lot of different ways you can raise your vibration. By keeping high vibrational crystals nearby, speaking to spirit, and developing a relationship with your guides. physical activity, being out in nature, burning sage, dragon's blood, copal resin, incense, candles, any of these things can help raise your vibration. Visualization exercises like visualizing source light and energy or angel light and energy taking over your body and healing you. Things like that all raise your vibration, and they will help develop them. Once you start that process, doing any energy healing, receiving Reiki, King Yong, all these different types of healing, once you start just doing those things, you'll notice that your abilities start to happen naturally. But then you can also do exercises specific to these things. Okay, great. So here they are. And the first one is clairvoyant. Now, there are a lot of different forms of clairvoyance. It means seeing things. It can be seeing physical spirit with your own eyes. It can be seeing them in your mind's eye. It could mean being able to remote view and see something that's at a different location while you're still here. It could be so many different things. But for you specifically, I'm being told that you will see spirit. I think you'll be able to see them with your own eyes, but definitely in your mind's eye. If you can't with your own eyes, you will with your third eye, which would make you a medium because you'll be able to see them, but you'll also be able to hear them because you're clairaudient. If you're not already, you will be. If you've experienced any ringing in the ears, weird sounds, high-pitched tones, crunching sounds, going temporarily deaf in one ear, like blocks out and just can't hear anything, and all kinds of weird sensations in the ear, all of that is a sign of your clairaudience starting to develop. And those are types of downloads as well. So clairvoyance, singing, okay, great. Ringing is as long as there's no medical reason for the ringing, it's a surefire sign that you are developing clairaudience and receiving some downloads. So clairaudience can be hearing with your actual ears, or it can mean hearing voices in your head. More often than not, you hear the voices in your head, and it usually sounds like your own voice. Sometimes you can hear other people's voices, but usually it sounds like your own voice. You can just tell the difference between the personality and the way they talk, but it still sounds like you. Every once in a while, sometimes you might hear something with your actual ears. Okay, so seeing spirit, being a medium, clairaudience. Then I did get lucid dreaming. So having very vivid dreams. Christina, I can't remember, or I don't have obvious dreams hardly ever. I know I have them. Everybody does. I just don't remember them. And when I do remember them, it must mean something pretty significant because it's rare that I ever remember them. But people that have this gift have it pretty often. I mean, they know it. They realize it usually. And sometimes they have visions in their dreams. Sometimes they receive messages. But in Michelle's case, you should be able to lucid dream where it seems extremely real. And a lot of times, the things that are going on in your dreams are actually real. Your body is at rest, you're sleeping, but your soul and your conscience, your subconscious, is actually doing things in other dimensions. So you're traveling through other dimensions, and the things that you're seeing are actually happening. And that's why they seem so real, and that's why you remember them so vividly when you wake up. Okay, well, hold on, Michelle, because I'm trying to get to your gifts. And I want you to hold off and tell me after I tell you if you already realize you have them or not. Otherwise, you won't know if I'm getting the truth or not. You're fine. I'm just messing with you, Michelle. But you said the dreams before I said it, and now you're saying the premonitions are being able to know what somebody's going to say, and that's a form of telepathy, and that's also on my list. So if you wait till after I tell you, then you'll know that I was right. Otherwise, you'll have no idea if I was correct or I just made it up because you said it. Which I know you like me and trust me. I'm just playing with you. But it's good to have validation. So yeah, let me know afterwards. Okay, but you're also a psychic intuitive. So not only can you read spirit, but you can read people, which is another reason why you know what's going to come out of their mouth before they say it. It's a form of telepathy where you're hearing what they're thinking or you're predicting it intuitively, but it's also a form of psychic intuitiveness, knowing intuitively what's about to happen, being able to read people and understand what they think and feel, and getting a feel for their energy and all kinds of things. So not only can you read people that have passed, but you can read people that are living, and that's what a psychic does. But you're also a natural healer. So your energy just automatically helps heal people just by you being around them. And if you choose to pursue any type of energy healing or any kind of healing at all, you're going to be really good at it naturally. And you're also empathic. So you're able to feel people's energy and you're able to feel their emotions. You can feel their feelings, their energy, whether they're feeling down, if they're feeling negative or positive. But you're also clairsentient. So the empath means that you are empathic. You understand and have feeling and emotions and can feel others' feelings and emotions, which means you also absorb their energy. You also take on their feelings at times, including even pain or elation or things like that. But clairsentience is a little bit different. It's similar. It means clear feeling. You feel energy, you feel emotions, things like that, but it also involves the environment. So you can feel the energy in a room. You can feel electromagnetic waves. Some people can even feel microwaves. So, empaths more specific to people. Clairsentience has to do with people, but it also has to do with the environment and objects. You can also feel the energy from objects, and that might have been held in an object. So you're clairsentient, telepathic. Actually, that's it, but that's a lot. So clairvoyance, a medium, which goes along with the clairvoyance and seeing spirits and that level. Clairaudient, psychic intuitive, natural healer, empath, telepathic or telepathy, clairsentience, and dreaming, lucid dreaming specifically, but receiving visions, reading in your dreams is all possible. So now, Michelle, does that sound about all right based on what you've already experienced, or even the things you haven't experienced yet? Do they resonate with you and make sense to you now that we got that out? Yeah, actually, he's really excited because, yeah, like he said, you're going to be able to see him on your own and hear him. So he is absolutely right. That's pretty cool. just looking back and making sure I didn't miss any comments here. Okay. Okay, so yeah, does that make sense, Michelle? And sound about right to you? All of them do for sure. Okay. Yes. So it's very imperative that you ground and protect yourself, because that will help transmute. It'll keep you centered and balanced, so you'll be less vulnerable to taking on all that other negativity, as well as it'll kind of transmute the negativity or bounce it back to people. Can you turn that back on, please? Sorry, he just turned my light off. One of them. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's very important that you ground and protect yourself. I do recommend doing it at bedtime as well, since you have gifts in dreamland that makes you vulnerable while you're sleeping as well. So it's pretty important to do it right before bed. So I would do it twice. I do it first in the morning when you get up, and do it again in the evening. It takes less than 5 minutes to do both grounding and protecting, but I highly recommend that. And yeah, you will get the visual part. Like I said, I'm not sure that whether it's going to be with your physical eyes or in your mind's eye, but either way, you will get to be able to see them. It's going to take some time and a little development. I suggest practicing a lot of visualization exercises, as well as, if you know how to scry, I would practice scrying. That is great for developing your third eye and your visual abilities, because you learn how to relax your gaze, and that allows you to see through the veil into other dimensions and see spirit. So if you don't know what scrying is, look it up. There's lots of great information online, but it's basically gazing into something with a reflection. So it can be in a mirror, it can be into a candle, a lit candle, it can be looking at a fire, it can be looking into like a bowl with water in it. But the room when you're first starting out, you need to keep the room dimly lit, like by candlelight or like a salt lamp or a night light or something. And then you let your gaze soften, almost like letting your eyes cross. And as you do, have like something that you look at, like a focal point. Like if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, then look at like your third eye, or like just past the side of your face or something. Look at the top of your head, but have like a focal point that you stare at, and then just kind of let your eyes soften and let the gaze almost go into a daydream kind of state. Now, if you're looking at a bowl of water, maybe put an object in the bowl that you focus on. It could be a penny, it could be a small candle, it could be a lot of different things, anything. And it will help. If you do that daily or at least a couple times a week, it will really help open up your third eye. I just saw Jason the other night. Different lifetimes. Kings. Wow, yeah. That's fantastic, Michelle. You don't even realize that you're good at the energy work. You might not think you are, but your body has natural healing. You're a natural healer. So you don't even realize it, but just being in people's presence, you are putting out healing energy. Renee, yeah, if you're talking about the gazing, that's called scrying. Yeah, Michelle, that's awesome. Okay, Nicole, did we figure out who's next? Because I think that about wraps it up, Michelle. Thank you. Practice and you will develop these things, but the most important thing is raising your vibration. The meditate as often as you possibly can. It will make such a difference. Like I said, talking to your guides, all of that will help bring everything through faster than you can believe. I mean, it will start developing very quickly if you do those things on a regular basis. So thank you very much, Michelle. And yes, Miss Mary. All right, she's on it. Yay. Grandchildren. Okay. Chakras. Okay. I can do that. Did you want mediumship then, Mary? Did you want me to talk to your guides about that? Or did you want me to do a card reading? What would you prefer? Either way, I can find out about that for you if you just let me know which way you'd prefer. Okay, Mary, let me know which type of reading you want. Okay, guys, give me just a moment. I need to finish disconnecting from Michelle, and I will see what guides come through for you. Hi, Latasha. All right. Okay, Mary. Let me see what Michelle said here real quick. You're welcome, Michelle. You're very welcome. Yeah, your stones, because you need to ground and protect, I would recommend anything black, so, or dark, so like black tourmaline, obsidian, onyx, smoky quartz. It doesn't have to be the whole headband, but at least put a couple on there. And then I would recommend the master crystals like clear quartz, smoky quartz is one, rose quartz, selenite is a fantastic one, and anything that's high vibration. So all of those would do any of that for you, but those are great standard ones that would help with anything that you need. Carnelian's a great one for high vibration as well. Moonstone. Okay, back to you, Mary. Okay, Savannah, 17 months. All right, so Cheryl is, I'm talking to Cheryl right now. Mary, Cheryl is one of your guardian angels. I think you have two. Yes, you have two guardian angels. She's one of them. So give me just a moment and I'll get some answers for you. Michelle Lazar, I forgot to tell you, Charlie has shoulder length brown curly hair and like in her 20s. I just forgot to tell you that. Mary, Cheryl has blonde hair about shoulder length and wavy, really blonde. Red chakra, so base chakra and sacral. Okay, I'll check those for you, sweetie. Just give me a moment. So Cheryl is, yeah, Cheryl is beautiful, and it is a beautiful name. She's very pretty. Like late 20s, I would say, is the way she's appearing to me. I mean, doesn't mean that's her actual age. That's just the way she looks. So let me ask her about your grandchildren. Do you have, I'm getting a number 3, Mary. So do you have 3 kids now? Not grandkids, but you have 3 children. One and 3. Try the chart here. I want Mary and all these guys. Yes, you have 3 children now? Is that what the yes is? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, she told me you have 3 kids. So give me 1 second here. I want these questions answered by Cheryl. Cheryl is okay. 6. Okay. I believe you're going to have 6 grandkids total. So that would mean 5 more on the way. Okay. So if she already has 1 girl, I'm hearing 3 and 2 for the other 5. So I believe it's going to be 3 boys and 2 girls. So that would be equal. Counting the one you already have, counting Savannah, that means 3 boys and 3 girls total. Let me see here. 2 daughters and a son. Okay. 2 daughters, 1 son. Let me see. 1 daughter, 1 daughter, 1 son. Yeah, that would be helpful, wouldn't it, Mary? Well, it's definitely going to happen. I believe that. So give me just a second, and I'm trying to find out if I can find out who's going to have what. I can't guarantee this. I'm just going to go based on what she tells me, but hold on a second. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me clarify that, Cheryl. Okay. I believe this is what she's saying. Now, remember, when it comes to predicting the future, Mary, it can change. If everything continues to go as it is going right now, today, this is what's going to happen. But because we are given free will, free choice, your kids could make a choice that changes this between now and then. So, oh, thank you, Lucille. So as of right now, based on the choices that it appears they're going to be making, based on their track record and how things are going, this is what's going to happen. But it could change a little bit. Either way, I believe you'll have 6 grandkids or darn close to it. I actually heard 5 or 6, but then she said 6. But as of right now, it looks like your oldest daughter, I believe, is only going to have 1. And your younger daughter is going to have 3, or it's going to be that way one way or the other. I'm not 100% sure which daughter it is, but it's going to be 1 and 3, which leaves 2 for your son. Now, like I said, that can change, and the numbers could change, but as of right now, that's the way it's looking. Let me see about names now. Not very good with names, Mary. That's my weakest link. I will try. Let me see if I can find any names, but that again is something that they could change. Even if it's in their heart to think of right now, they would name their kid this. Circumstances could change and something could happen that influences them to decide on a different name, but let me try. Okay. She's giving me some, I'm hearing names, but she's telling me to let's focus on the other stuff. She's like, you're not going to probably get these names right. So she's saying, let's focus on the other things that she wants to know. So I apologize, Mary, but yeah, I don't know for sure on these names, and I'd rather not take a chance on them. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I usually try and keep to just a couple questions. So in order to get to your chakras as well, I can ask real quick about the DNA, but I don't know if she's going to tell me anything about that or not. So let me ask. Okay. Okay, she did tell me a couple of things, Mary. First of all, she said, I'll give you some ideas, but keep in mind that some things are meant to be whether we like them or not. She said, even if it's meant to be as a life lesson, something that they have to go through to learn a vital life lesson, or it's something that they chose before they were born to go through, then nothing you do is going to change it. But I will give you some suggestions that you can share with your kids to help, so that if it's not meant to be, it's not something that they have to go through, then these things can help. And what she means, just to clarify, is prior to our incarnating, prior to us being born, we actually discuss with our spirit guides what type of life lessons we need to learn to advance spiritually, to continue to grow spiritually and ascend. So once we figure out what life lessons we still need to learn, then we choose a certain life path or lifestyle for ourselves that will promote those life lessons. So if they choose a specific lesson that involves some kind of a disability, like a chronic disease or something like that, then that is their choice and that's their free will. I mean, you would think nobody would want to go through disease, but there's so many amazing, wonderful, important lessons to be learned from those things that can actually influence and have a lot to do with fulfilling their life purpose, their mission. If you know anything about the universal children in the class that I taught, universal children specifically choose to take on chronic illness and disability because it helps prepare them to be amazing teachers and counselors, and it helps give them compassion. It helps them to understand what it's like for other people that are going through these things. It helps them to actually walk in their shoes and experience it firsthand, rather than saying they understand when they truly don't. So some of us have life purposes to heal, to help others, and to really help humanity as a whole, and we have to go through some of these things, including illness, in order to learn everything that we need to learn so that we can truly, really help other people. So that's just a heads up. She wanted me to make sure to point that out. She said, it's lovely that you want to avoid that for your grandchildren, and if you can, then absolutely. But don't lose heart if it doesn't happen and they still struggle with something, because there's always a reason behind it, and there's always important lessons being learned from everything, and it's going to make them stronger, it's going to make them wiser, it's going to make them more loving and kind and compassionate than those that don't suffer from those things. So with that being said, she said, first and foremost, clean diet, especially during pregnancy, but then also thereafter. Start the children on a clean diet from the get-go, from the beginning, because if you don't, it's going to be so much harder to switch them to it later once they've established habits. And it is hard for kids, so you will have to do some research and be wise and tricky about how you get them to eat healthy. But she's saying try and eat fresh, organic food, non-processed, and no chemicals or dyes. She's saying avoid allergens, and that's especially true with the chemicals and the dyes. So many children have asthma and liver failure because of all the processed foods, the dyes, and the chemicals in our foods. It triggers these things. She said also make sure there's always clean air in the home, even if you have to use air purifiers in the home. Make sure there's no mold, no toxic mold, and try and avoid the airborne allergies as much as possible. But she said, but you can't bog yourself down worrying about these things, because worrying will just cause more things to go wrong and happen because it'll draw negativity. So she said, you do what you can, you do your best, and that's all you can do. If it's meant to happen and you're supposed to be able to avoid these things, you will by taking these steps. She said, but don't worry and don't think that you did anything wrong if the child does become sick, because that couldn't be further from the truth. Oh, she also just said, don't overprotect the immune system. She said, so while you want to be careful and protect them, don't overprotect. They have to build up immunities. So too many antibacterials, too much avoidance to things can actually make it worse. And she said, if you can, even avoid vaccines. Because despite the debate, and I'm sorry, but I'm not here to debate this, I'm just passing on spirit message. So no comments about it, please. But she is telling me vaccines have chemicals and toxins that to a child that is sensitive can create disease. No matter what politics or government or doctors say, that's what Spirit's saying. She said, but that's about it. Oh, she said, and the processed sugar. The processed sugar, getting kids used to it, hooked on it, can be really, really bad. So be careful with that. Okay, let's move on to your chakras, okay? Because that's about all she has to say on the DNA. She said everything will be okay, Mary. She said, don't worry. Do what you can and leave the rest to God. And she said your children are going to be beautiful parents and love will get them through everything. But let's check your chakras, okay? First, I'm going to ask Cheryl, channeling. Yes, Mary, it is. Stevia is good. Xylitol is good. You can get like coconut sugar. You can use honey, maple sugar, not like maple syrup, I mean, for different things. Natural sugars, natural sweeteners. But even then, you got to limit them. Okay, I'm asking her about your chakras telepathically first, then I'll confirm with the pendulum. While I do this, Nicole, we can start seeing who's next, because this will take a few minutes. We're going to do at least one more person, possibly two. But that's all I'll be able to do tonight is two more, if I get that far. Okay, Mary. Okay, thank you, Nicole. Okay, great, Serena. Yeah, just hold your question for a second till I finish this, and then I'll get it from you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. She wants me to use the pendulum so she can show me on my chart. Cheryl, please answer. Show me what chakras do Mary need to work on? What chakras are unbalanced? Sorry, a nice big picture of my hand there, but are you staying there, Cheryl, or are you going to a different one? Okay, we're still moving. Okay. I'm gonna keep going, but she did say solar plexus. Now I'm gonna see if there's another one, and then I'll help you with it. What? Are there others imbalanced, Cheryl? Show me what other chakras are imbalanced for Mary Malby. Is that it? Okay. Are there any others that are imbalanced for Mary? Any other chakras imbalanced for Mary Malby? Okay, Mary, she did say your base chakra also, which is pretty interesting since those are the two you told me, but she's going to another one also, so bear with me for a second and then we'll discuss them all. So far your solar plexus and your base chakra, which is the red one, you're correct, but we're not quite done here. Yes, okay. Your heart chakra as well. Are there any more, Cheryl? Are there any other chakras out of balance for Mary Malby? No. Okay. So solar plexus, base chakra, and heart chakra. So yeah, your self-esteem, worthiness, yes, that is your it's your chakra that needs ground you. It's your base. It's your root. It really needs, when your whole body is balanced and grounded, then your base chakra tends to be as well. It's all about balance and stability, but it's also the things you said. It's also about your physical health, nourishment, strength, family roots, security, survival. That's your survival and security, your foundation chakra. It's also prosperity. Your solar plexus is actually the one that's the self-esteem. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, your emotions are the solar plexus one, as far as those kind of emotions. Your confidence. Your personal power. It can be your will, your vitality. all of these things can be affected by your solar plexus. Your reliability even. But your heart chakra is really your compassion and your forgiveness, your ability to have self-love, self-acceptance. It can also be your intimacy and your empathy. It's your relationships as well. But basically, for balancing them, your base chakra is the red, your solar plexus is yellow, and your heart chakra is green. So for one thing, you need to make sure you're grounding yourself, grounding your energy. So doing visualization exercises of like you being connected to earth, either by growing tree roots out of your feet and like growing them into the earth and connecting to it, or imagining that you're like actually a tree, or being in nature, grounding with your feet or your hands in the earth, gardening, things like that. There's so many different ways you can ground. That will help your base chakra, but also anything red. So wearing the color red, eating red foods, visualizing about the color red can help your base chakra. Your solar plexus is the yellow, so wearing yellow, visualizing about yellow, eating yellow foods, and the heart being green, the green chakra, same thing with the green, wearing green, eating green, and visualizing green. All of those things can help balance those chakras. But, Mary, if you'd like, you need to work on those things yourself, because I can help you fix your chakras right now. But if you're not doing the right things to keep them balanced, it can be unbalanced right back again tomorrow. But Mary, if you would like, I can do some dowsing for you right now. It'll only take a minute, and I can ask your guides' assistants to balance your chakras for you right now. Would you like me to do that? Okay, great. All right. Mary Mobby, Mary Mobby, Mary Mobby. Okay, I call upon all of Mary Mobby's guides. I call upon and ask for Archangel Raphael, the healer, and any other heavenly beings that want to join us right now to help with the assistance of balancing Mary's chakras. Mary Mobby, Mary Mobby, Mary Mobby. Okay. I am going to say the intent to clear and balance your chakras. And when I do, Mary, I need you to take a deep breath. Just a slow, deep breath. Hold it for a few seconds and then exhale. But when I tell you to. Okay? Hold it up so you guys can see it a little bit here. Clear and balance Mary Mobby's chakras. Okay, go ahead and take a slow, deep breath, Mary. And you can just relax while this works. While we're waiting for this to happen, I also recommend, Mary, that you can use crystals, those colors as well. So the red, green, and yellow crystals, keeping them in your energy field, will help keep you balanced in those chakras as well. Now right now, the pendulum is going all by itself. It's going counterclockwise, which means it's clearing your chakras right now. It means that your chakras were not clear, and the counterclockwise motion is a clearing and taking away energy. This will take a minute, and it has to finish on its own. But once it does, you should feel some sense of relief or comfort. And even though it's not the right color, Mary, that we're talking about, selenite, the crystal, and rose quartz are great crystals to hold near your heart to assist in the clearing and balancing. They're not green, but their particular energies are clearing and of love and a very nice healing energy. I actually prefer my selenite tower that you can get online for maybe $5 to $10 for a decent sized tower. And when I put that to my heart, when my heart chakra doesn't feel right, it does an amazing job of opening it up for me. Starting to slow down a little bit. So what we do is we let this finish clearing, and you can make up any kind of affirmations, Mary. You basically just say, I'm not going to worry, I'm going to trust in the universe to take care of whatever it is you need to take care of. I believe the universe will take care of this for me. I believe that the universe will provide, or I believe that Creator, God, or my guides. Yay! Awesome, Mary. Very cool. It's slowing down now. It may start back up again if it needs to. It might go the other direction if it needs to add back some positive energy. We just wait a second to see. But Serena, go ahead and get your questions ready. Don't send it quite yet, but I'll finish up right here after this is done. But yeah, Mary, all those things. And the positive affirmations are just about saying something positive about whatever you're worrying about. Basically stating, if you're worrying and have anxiety, state the opposite. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry. I'm going to trust and have faith. Just stating that, or anything similar to that, is going to help. And it actually retrains, there's actually science behind it. Not only is it a spiritual thing for the energy and a law of attraction thing, but it actually retrains your brain, rewires it to thinking more positive. Sorry, when we're finishing this up, my hubby's trying to let the dog out. Babe, they already went out. Yeah, because you're in there. She wants attention. She never goes out this time. Sorry. We're almost finished. Well, almost finished with this motion. It should be finished, but if there is anything else that needs to be done, it'll start doing it. But I have to wait till it completely stops. And that way it finishes sending the proper energy. And it makes sure that it doesn't need to go again. And actually, it is. Wow, Mary. I'm going to fold this up so it's actually going back the other direction now, which means it needs to do some positive, adding back some energy. So that basically means that one of those 3 chakras didn't have enough positive energy, or it needs more positive energy put back into it to heal it. This won't take as long as the first one. But that's the amazing thing, is that your guides are making this happen right now. I haven't moved except for to put my elbow down. And it is just going all by itself. It stopped completely and started up again. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't. But that's good. That means it's being very thorough and working on everything. And it's not getting up as big of a swing as it did on the counterclockwise, so it's not going to take nearly as long. It's just a nice, slow, steady balance. But any of you can do this for your own chakras. If you have a pendulum at home, preferably wood or brass, but it doesn't have to be. It can be crystal. It just depends on your vibration, how high your vibration is, as to how well it'll do for healing. But go with what resonates with you, what you feel drawn to. But wooden and brass tend to be the best for healing. But if you're just clearing your chakras, then a crystal is probably enough. But you just do like I did. You call on your guides. You can call on whoever you want, Archangel Raphael, to assist with it. And you just ask them to clear and balance your chakras. Take in a deep breath and wait till it finishes. Now, because I'm doing it for Mary, I focused on Mary and I wrote her name and have her name under the pendulum as I'm focusing on her. And because I asked her guides to help, that's why it's able to do it for her long distance. It's almost finished, guys. Thank you for your patience. I know Mary appreciates it. We are almost finished. How's that feel, Mary? It hasn't completely stopped, but it is finishing up. But do you feel a noticeable difference? You can also ask your angels to assist you with clearing your chakras. I mean, if you don't have a pendulum, you can ask them to do it for you. Now, it's better to do things to yourself, to work at it, to make the effort to actually try and clear and balance them yourselves. But occasionally, if you can't or not feeling well and you need the assistance, you can ask the angels to do it for you. and they will. And it's finishing right now. It's stopping. And we are finished. So now we thank Archangel Raphael and we thank Mary's guides for assisting with this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so heat to the base. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Great. Fantastic. Okay, Mary. Well, I hope the whole reading was helpful for you. I'm really excited for you about your grandbabies. I think you've got a lot of many happy years coming up with them very soon. Enjoy that Savannah in the meantime, though. Anyway, Serena, if you're ready, you can go ahead and send your question, please. And thank you, Mary. You have a wonderful evening. You're so welcome. Very welcome. Okay, while I wait for Serena, for Serena's question, Serena, what kind of reading do you want? If you have a particular question or a particular person you want to connect with, just let me know. And while I wait for that, I'm going to clear myself and reground, so I'll be ready for you when you give me your question. Thank you, Renee. That's awesome, Mary. You still with us, Serena? Hope we didn't lose her. I know we took a few minutes longer with the chakras, but it was important. Okay, I didn't see your question. I'm sorry. Can you go ahead and retype it, or whatever you typed? It either didn't go through or Spirit intercepted it, which is not unheard of. So every once in a while we go through this and have to retype it multiple times. And I will do one more after Serena. So I'm going to do Serena and then one more after Serena. It probably is Spirit, Serena. If it's taken this long for the comments, to come through. I mean, some of my comments have been super fast, but it seems like the questions, when it comes to the questions, they take longer. And that's just Spirit saying, I want my loved one to go next, not you. Or they play jokes. They can be funny. Is anybody seeing Serena's question? If anybody else is seeing it, can you please help type it for her? No, Serena, on my end it's not. If you're typing it, then it's Spirit doing it. They're interfering. So don't lose heart. We'll get it. It just takes multiple times sometimes. Okay. Yeah, if anybody sees Serena's question, please go ahead and type it for her. But Serena, go ahead and try again. Okay, Nicole sees it. Yay! See? Isn't that weird? Yeah, I didn't either, Penny Lane. Not you. You neither, Lisa? That's crazy. Connect with great-grandfather. Okay. It's so weird. I know. It's definitely Spirit because it happens all the time and it happens with other readers. So I've seen it happen a bunch of times. Probably Michelle because it's not in mine. Okay, general message from great-grandfather. Okay, thank you, Nicole. Got it, Serena. Okay, give me a second to see if I can connect with them. Yeah, there you go, Nicole. That's awesome. Perfect timing, right? That's funny because you're the only one that saw it. That's perfect. Okay, let me take a drink here. Okay, Nicole, in case you didn't hear me, while you stepped out, I did say I was going to do one more person after Serena, and then I'm going to wrap up for tonight. But I will do these two. So Serena and then one more. Okay, so Serena, I'm being told that your grandfather is present, your great-grandfather. Just FYI, if anybody needs assistance with how to use the crystal ball, you're welcome to inbox me, PM me, and I can send you a couple of reference sites that are good. Okay, great-grandfather. Do you have children, Serena? Or is there a child in your life? He's referencing a child. Okay, yeah, one. I felt like it was one, and he's saying this, he's aware of this child, and he says she's very special. He's really proud of her, and he feels connected to her. He said she's his legacy, as are you. But he feels a strong connection to your daughter and said that she's very special. He said she's gifted in some way. Yeah. Serena, do you know an Ariana or an Ariana living or deceased in your family, friends, acquaintance? But he's saying that all of your past loved ones are watching over your daughter. Ariella. Okay, that's it. Sorry, told you the names can be a little off. Ariana, Ariella. That's a perfect example of what I was talking about. The letters just being a little different. But he's saying your whole family, like all your ancestors, are watching what your daughter's going to do. He's telling me she's going to do great things one day, even against any odds. He said she's beautiful. Yeah, me too, Tosh. It's really sweet. Does that resonate with you? Does that make sense to you, Serena? Do you know of any special gifts? I almost feel like she's got some kind of an obstacle. Does she have any type of health problem or learning disability of any kind? Aw. Darn it. Yeah, that's a shame. Okay, well, I'm not trying to scare you or intimidate you or anything because she's still so little. I just feel like there's going to be some kind of an obstacle, but she's going to be amazing either way. And I don't think it's going to be something big. I don't think it's going to be something to worry about. They make me feel like there might be just something a little bit that you just might watch closely. Like it might be a mild, it might appear to be a learning disability, but it's not really. Like it's actually part of her gift or her ability, but it just is perceived by teachers and doctors as a negative when it's really not. So it's not something to be concerned about because I feel like she's going to overcome it anyway. So whatever it is, they're not being real specific about what it is, but I think that's the point, is they don't want you worrying about it. They're telling you now not to worry about it, that she's beautiful, she's amazing, and she's gifted, so she's going to overcome it and blow everybody away. They're not giving me a clear picture. I just feel like it's something where she's just appears to them to be behind the learning curve a little bit at first. Like I said, nothing huge, nothing traumatic. So they just kind of watch it, thinking they think that it might be a negative or concern that it could continue, but it doesn't. Like, she overcomes it completely. So I think that's just the point, is he's just trying to say, whatever they say, it's not worth worrying about. They can be alarmists. Okay, well that could be what he's talking about, Serena. Definitely. It could be something like that, where she's a little behind in her growth and learning things that, compared to other kids. And that's the thing, and I think that's what he's trying to say. They can be alarmist, where we're too quick to compare babies to babies, kids to kids. And if they're not right where all the other kids are, then there's something wrong. Well, no. Every child is different. And, they may not be good in math all through high school, but then they can, once their brain fully develops, they could be a genius at it. So everybody's different. They all learn at their own pace. And she just might be so smart that she's just taking her good old time. Knows there's no rush. But yeah, he's telling me that she's very special. I think she might wind up having some sensory issues as well. Nothing serious, just like her senses being a little overstimulated easily. And that actually can be a sign of a spiritual gift, like an empathic child or a sensitive child to energies and environment, spirit, stuff like that. Doesn't mean she's necessarily going to see ghosts or something like that. It just means that you just need to be aware not to overstimulate her too much, not subject her to too much loud noise, anything that's too violent, which are things I'm sure you would protect her from anyway. So just know when these things happen that it's actually not a negative, it's actually a sign that there's something special and different about her. And great-grandfather wants you to know that you can be extremely proud of her and not worry, that there's nothing that he's concerned about. In fact, he thinks she's going to thrive in a huge, huge way. Oh yeah, Nicole. Yeah. And you know what? Some universal children don't speak until much later, and they are behind on the curves. It's completely normal, and it's because of their abilities. Crystal children especially. Some crystal children don't speak because they are telepathic, and they know, their soul knows that before they were born they were able to be telepathic. They don't need to talk to communicate. And everybody else worries about it because they don't understand it. So I'm not, I don't know that this is the case, Serena. I'm just saying nothing to worry about. Yeah, he does love her to pieces, Serena. I understand what you're saying, and I don't blame you at all, but he has met her, and he does love her to pieces, and he wants you to know that. Yeah. Right, Stacy. Exactly. Yeah, let's see what else he has to say for you, though. He said, you take care of that baby. He said, my baby. Take care of my baby. He's very protective. He said he worries nowadays about the new dangers. He showed me a picture of a car, and I believe it's supposed to be you and the baby in the car. And he said, he says, I worry about these things nowadays. So he's basically saying you take extra care of her, You drive safely with her. He shows me the car seat, like you make sure she's always buckled up in the car seat. And he showed me a cell phone with you driving, as if to say, like, no texting and talking on the phone when you're driving. I don't know if you do that or not. If you do, then he's seen it and that's why he's saying it. But if you don't, it's a general thing. He's just saying, take care of my baby girl. There's a lot of dangers out there nowadays. Ones that I didn't necessarily have to deal with when I was around. And he said, you're my baby girl too, Serena. So take care of my girls. He said, you're a good mother, though. A very good mother, and he's proud of you. He's very proud of you. Yeah, he said, don't let her go without her knowing that I'm fussing over her too. He's very cute. He's got a great personality. Aw. He said, I know you do. He loves you and misses you too. But it was cute. It was like, I know you do. As you should. He's very funny. Yeah. Well, he's saying that about you too, Serena. And he wants to make sure that you know and understand that he's proud of you too. He really is a very sweet guy with a great personality. Well, do you have anything else you want to ask him or ask me before we wrap up? Because that's really the gist of his message. He's not saying anything else, but if you have one last question, I'd be happy to ask him or me. Yes, it is very sweet, Ethel. Okay, I'll ask him. He said, oh my gosh, tell him how much I love him and miss him. And then he showed me flowers. Do you know if they, like, took flowers to his grave? Or some significance about flowers? I saw roses at first. It was roses. So I don't know if it's significant that it's roses or if that's just symbolic of the flowers. But I feel like they either took flowers to his grave or something. Okay. Yeah, because he's acknowledging that he knows it. So yeah, if she does all the time, then this is his way of saying, I'm aware of it, I see it, and to tell her that he's with her when she does it. So right there, while she's putting those flowers on his grave, he's right there with her. Oh, and he said he hugs her. But he's saying, thank you. Thank you for the flowers and not forgetting about me. said, I want to be with her all the time. So I am. He said, I go back and forth between all of you. He said, but that's the great thing about being over here is that I can be in multiple places at once. And even if I leave, all you have to do is think of me and I'm right back. That's really sweet. So yeah, he said he wants them to know he loves them and misses them. He's aware of the flowers. He said, tell my wife how much I love her. Miss holding her. Does she still get dressed up a lot? Or is she like a classy lady that always has to have her hair and makeup done even if she's not doing anything special? His wife. You know, like me, I could care less. I go out in public all the time with my hair just in a ponytail and no makeup on. But is she the kind of lady that is like old school, old generational, where she, when she can, I just heard that, when she can. Like she might not always be able to, but she wanted to. Okay. Well, now I'm hearing like she might not be able to get around as much, not able to get out as much. Okay. Yeah, I feel like she's not able to get out as much anymore and that she has limitations on what she can do. But she's still the kind of lady that would get dressed up and would pretty herself up, doll herself up is what I just heard, even when it's not a special occasion. And he said, I love that about her. And he said, I love how she takes care of herself. And he said, I love that even without me there, she still cares enough to dress up and I saw him like symbolized her putting on makeup. Oh, thank you, Stacy, for telling me that. Oh my gosh. The 111 and 1111 stuff has been off the charts yesterday and today. Oh my gosh. And the 444s, crazy, like everywhere I look. So thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, Serena, he wants her to know that he loves how she takes care of herself. And now she's classy and that it's just the way she is, and he loves that and admires that about her, that she loves herself and loves life enough to do that. And he said she's so beautiful. She's still very beautiful. He just said she's still as beautiful today as the day he met her. Michelle, 1111 is a number. It's an angel sign. It's a message from angels. It's a message from your guides, and it has multiple different meanings, but it's basically about following your life purpose, following your journey, following your spiritual path. Mostly as a light worker, most people that see it are a light worker, meaning that they are have some kind of a life purpose to help people and to shine light into the world for humanity and help people. But yeah, it has several different meanings depending on what you're going through at the time, but it basically is your angels telling you they're there for you, they're loving you, and they're supporting you, and they're supporting your spiritual journey, and that they want you to find and follow your life purpose. But there's a lot of other things that go into it. But whenever you see those numbers, multiple, like reoccurring, if you've seen it more than once or twice on a regular basis, look them up online. Look up angel messages, angel numbers, and then put in the number just in Google or whatever, and it'll bring up sites. Ask Angels, ask-angels.com is a great one. And Scribes, Joanna's Scribed blog, you'll see it when you Google the Scribed blog. Look at that one. It's got a great directory of them. I'm going to finish her reading, but Michelle, I'll get back to you about the 444 while we're waiting for Kathy's information. Okay, so let me... Yeah, Serena, I think that's what he's referring to. That is so sweet. I mean, she could easily just throw on some old pants and a sweater and go, but she dresses up, and he loves that about her. Okay, so let me see what else, if anything else he has to say, and then we'll wrap up. But Kathy, is Kathy still next, Nicole? Because Kathy, if you're next and you're still here, go ahead and let me know what type of reading you'd like. If there's a specific question and who you want to connect with. Oh, Penny Lane, you do get answers from your guides. You just might not be paying enough attention, or you might be missing it. You got to stay present and be looking for them. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying they're always sending us the answers. We just don't always recognize it. Trust me, I pass them up a lot. If you find a feather or some kind of thing that they leave you, that's an answer to something, and there's usually a message behind it, as are the numbers. If you're seeing the numbers, you just said you see 1111. If you're seeing those numbers, then those are answers and messages from your guides. You just got to take the time to look up the number and what it, or the message and what it means. Okay. What else? Serena's grandfather. Anything else? Okay, Serena. I asked him if he had anything else to say, and he said, no, not really. Just really tell my ladies I love them. And that I'm around, watching. I know everything that's going on. No, Connie, 911 is a very good angel number. It's not negative. Look it up. It's got great meaning behind it. I think it means change and the end of one thing and the beginning of something new, but in a positive way. I can't remember for sure, but it also means that you're connected with your angels. You're welcome, Serena. Thank you for letting me read for you. That was awesome. Okay, Kathy. Yeah, Kathy, it's your turn if you want to tell me your question, who you want to connect with, and what type of reading. Okay, got that. Just as I said it. Okay, your son. Just whatever comes through, or do you have a question? You're welcome, Serena. Okay, I think it was Michelle that asked about the 444. 444 means that your hard work is beginning to pay off. Basically, that they are aware of how hard you've been working at things and it's about to pay off. They're encouraging you. It also means to like watch your intuition, trust your intuition, and trust your inner wisdom. It also means that archangels and angels both are with you and you have a really strong connection with them. Kathy, did you type your message yet? Did you let me know if you have an actual question? Sacred Scribes is the other one. Look up Sacred Scribes website and they have a wonderful dictionary. 9/11 is a highly karmic and spiritual number that encourages you to pursue your life purpose and soul mission as a light worker. It tells of leadership and living life as a positive example in order to illuminate the way for others to follow. It's a vibration of spiritual enlightenment and awareness and of reaping your karmic rewards for work well done. That's what 9/11 means. So yeah, you guys look up, it's Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers .blogspot.com. Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers. But if you just search angel numbers, angel messages, that is one of the main ones that comes up. So you should be able to find it. Okay, Kathy. Good. Let's get started for you then. Give me just a second to see if I can connect with him. Thank you, Nicole. You're welcome, Michelle. Kathy, does the name Toby or anything similar to Toby mean anything to you? Family member, friend, acquaintance, living or deceased? Toby and Andrew. I'm hearing the name Andrew also. Do either of those names mean anything to you, Kathy? They could be guides or they could be loved ones. And I'm hearing that your son is here. So I'm asking him his message. Kathy, did your son go to camp, like a summer camp? So Toby actually could be Tony. So if it's not Toby, do you know a Tony? Toby or Tony? Or Andrew? Okay. Is that no on both of them, Kathy? Or no to the camp? Can you tell me what you're answering to? Because the comments are taking a long time, and I've asked a couple questions, so I'm not sure which one you're answering to. No Toby or Tony, or no camp, no summer camp. And once I know for sure, then I'll tell you why I'm asking about the summer camp. I don't know that he necessarily went to one. There was just something that made me question it because it was funny how it came across. So I'm curious to see if he did. Did he sing? There's just something funny that he did that I'm trying to figure out why he did that. Either that it might have to do with summer camp or singing. So yeah, I'll wait for your answers before I go any further because I'm not really sure what you were answering to yet. I'm guessing that third no was to the Tony. I have no idea at this point. Until you let me know which ones you're referring to. But these names could definitely be guides instead, which you might not know them. So I'm just asking first if you know those names. Okay, no idea what, Kathy. I need you to tell me what you're answering to, because I've seen 3 no's and I'm not sure which one you're referring to what. I'm assuming that's no to the names. So no Toby, no Tony, no Andrew, which easily could be guides that are stepping forward. I just haven't checked yet. I wanted to make sure that they're not loved ones that have passed. And then still not sure about the camp or singing. Okay. All right. Thank you. Did he sing? And I'll tell you why while I wait for your answer. The only reason I'm asking was because I asked if he was here. They said yes. And I said, what would you like to say to your mother? And I heard that camp song, Hello Mother, Hello Father, Hello from Camp Hiawatha, or whatever camp it is. I literally heard that song. So it's like, I don't know if he's just being funny and playing that song just to be funny, or if he's playing it because it's referring to him having gone to summer camp, or he just likes singing. So that's why I asked those particular questions. Um, but it was funny. It made me laugh. Like I instantly heard that song. Like it was the first thing that came to mind. Nothing else. So I know it was from him. Okay, but now that I have some of your answers, I'll go ahead and see what else. And I can clarify whether those names are guides or not for you, or if they're for somebody else. So let me check. Okay. I actually think you have several guides stepping forward, Kathy, but I also heard the name Damon. Be Damien, Damon, Darren, anything along that lines. Do you know anybody by that name or any of those names? While you answer me on that, I'm going to check on the other names and get a further message from your son. Toby, is it Toby or Tony? Tony. Tony is a guide of yours. As is Andrew. Okay. I'm writing down what I'm getting for you. Yeah, I think he was just being funny, Kathy. Now that we clarified those other couple of things, I definitely think that's all it was. But I wanted to make sure that there wasn't a hidden message in there somewhere. Okay. I'm getting information from your son and your guides, so it's taken me just a moment. But if you know anybody by Damon or Damien or Darren or anything like that, let me know. Wow. You have a lot of guides coming through. No, I didn't say Alexander. I said Andrew, but not Alexander. I said Damon, Damien, or Darren, something along that line's a similar name. But I got them. They're all guides. I just wanted to make sure that one of them wasn't like a loved one that's passed that could be acting as a guide. Because I could tell you they're your guides, and then you not realize that it's your cousin that passed away that has become a guide. So I'd like to clarify that. But I'm getting your message from your son, and then I'll tell you about your guides. Okay. Kathy, I don't know the significance of this, if it's much of anything. I'm just going to tell you just in case it makes some sense to you. But he showed me him standing up against a tree. He showed me a tree, and I'm not sure why. So if that means anything to you, let me know. But he just said, I said, what do you want to tell your mom? And he said, I'm sorry. And I said, well, why would you be sorry? What are you sorry about? And he said, for leaving her alone. Let's see what else. Because he feels like you feel alone at times, and it makes him sad. Does that make sense, Kathy? And I just said, well, that's not your fault. And he said, well, I feel like it is. And I want to see her happy. He said, because he knows you're hurting since he's gone. He said, but I'm okay. He said, I'm better now. He said there's something that was holding him back when he was living. That isn't a struggle anymore. Does that resonate with you, Kathy? Or make sense? Because he said now he's free. Free to enjoy things that he couldn't before. You okay, Kathy? He just said, I think I should go back to being funny. So I don't know if he's feeling bad for talking so serious or can tell you're feeling it. But he's admitting that he was being funny. Yeah, I need to know if she's still here, but I feel like with how slow the comments are on her end, that it might be her device compared to ours, because everybody else's were faster, but hers have been consistently slower, even though she's been answering. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Kathy. Yeah, I feel like he's really worried about you, but he's wanting to let you know that he's in a good place, that he's better and he's free to enjoy everything now. But he's trying to like make things lighter. I mean, he's like addressing it, but like wanting to not get too serious. He said he wants you to be happy and to be able to move on and to know how loved you are. But he's saying, I'm sorry, because I feel like he feels like responsible for leaving. I don't know if he could have changed anything about that, if he could have prevented it, but I feel like he's making me feel like remorse, like, okay, Kathy. Yeah, well, that's understandable. I'm really sorry for your loss. But yeah, he's making me feel like he feels responsible for leaving you, and he's sorry for that, and he wants you to know that. And he wishes he could be back with you to hold you, to keep you from feeling alone. Because you're not alone. He hears you when you think about him. He knows when you're thinking about him. And he said, and she thinks about me a lot. But he said, yeah, I want her to remember the happy times, though. He said, we did have happy times. There were really good times. Oh, okay. That makes sense, Kathy. Yeah. That's all right. We're just glad you're still with us. I just know from one device to another, it can be a lot further behind. By the time you hear what I say and then respond to it, it could be a full, couple minutes behind. So that's fine. But yeah, he's such a sweet guy, and He really, really cares about you. And he said, I'm sorry I didn't show it enough when I was there with you. But I do love you, and I miss you. But I know when you think about me, and yes, I just heard yes, our love of nature. Yes, being outdoors. He said those were my happy times, my happy places. He said he didn't appreciate you enough. And now he sees. Oh, okay. Okay, Kathy. Well, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because he's saying sorry an awful lot. Yeah, I think he's trying to take responsibility for his actions, and he just was saying that he didn't appreciate you the way that he should have. He didn't see how lucky he was to have you in his life and caring about him. But he wasn't in the right state of mind to be able to see that clearly. And for that, he's sad and he's sorry. But he wants to assure you that he's okay now. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. But yeah, he's okay now. He's able to think clearly. He's able to see things clearly and recognize all the things he couldn't recognize before. And he really just wants you to know that he's okay. He said she needs to know that I'm okay, because I wasn't okay for so long. But he said, but I need her to know that I'm still here. I'm still with her. And I know when she thinks of me. I know when she talks about me. And it's all it means the world to me. He said, it's hard when you're living like that to recognize how much you're loved. He said, because I felt alone too. And that's why it's sad for me to see you feeling alone now. Because I know what that was like. And it was hard. He said, so I really need you to know you're not alone. Please, he's like pleading with me. Please help her to see that she's not alone. Because I don't want her sad. Yeah, I can feel that, Kathy. He's helping me to feel it, but he's also helping me to feel the remorse, and he's saying he's learned now. He learned. He knows better. Oh. He said, I know. It's not your fault. He said, I can see now that it wasn't either of our faults. We just weren't in the place where we could see it. And I am now, he said. So please know that I know how much you love me, then and still now, and I appreciate you loving me and being there for me as much as you could. And he said, you're still here for me now, even though I'm gone. You're still holding a place for me. He said, and that means the world for me. He said, I couldn't ask more than that of you. He loves you very much. I can feel it. He wants you to heal. He just asked me, what can I tell her? What does she need to hear me say to help her heal? And I'm not sure what to tell him. So this is your opportunity to tell him if there's anything else you need from him, to hear from him, because I feel like he's eager to give you any sense of validation, anything that you need to help you. Excuse me. Sorry guys, it's getting late and I'm tired, but I don't want to be rude. But when I get emotional, I start to yawn too, so it's nothing personal. Anyway, but yeah, Kathy, if there's anything you need to hear, if there's anything else you want to hear from him or need from him, he wants you to tell him now so that he can be there for you. Aw. That's understandable. For sure. He's telling me he wants you to live for you, not for me. He said, I know it's hard, but life is too short. He said, if I've learned nothing else, I've learned that life is too short for it to be wasted and not lived to the fullest. He said, I had my time. I had my life. He said, I didn't understand or appreciate what I needed to, but a lot of that was because I was sick. He said, you gave me a good life. He said, we had our problems, but you gave me a good life. You gave me what you could, and that was enough. It just wasn't supposed to be the way that we wanted it to be. But he said, I want you to live for you and start thinking about how short life is and how if you don't grab it and start living it the way you want to live it now, it's going to be too late. And you may not get another chance. So he's saying, I want you to find a way to grab from the depths of your soul to pull yourself up and be as strong as possible. He said, but I need you to find a way to start fresh, a new beginning, not living for me. He said, you did your job and you lived for me when I was there, but you don't have to anymore. I'm not struggling anymore. You don't have to take care of me anymore. He goes, I know you want to, But now it's time to live for you and take care of you. Have the life that you always wanted. And he said, I know you want me in it. He said, I know you want me in it, but you need to have it with me just on this side. He said, if you want to make me happy, then do it for me. But that's what'll make me happy, is seeing you fight to start over. And live a new, empowered life. Absolutely. He said, I know you do. Yeah, he just said she does when I read about you living for your other son. Are you afraid that something could happen to him because something happened to this son, Kathy? Because he makes me feel like you're worried of losing him now. And he's saying, Mom, the best thing you can do for my brother is learn to live again. And learn to love life and take care of yourself. Happy you makes happy mom for him. He said, if you continue going the way that you are, you can't be your best for him. He said, he needs you to be strong. I need you to be strong. And he said, and I guarantee you, if my brother was here on this side, he'd be telling you the same thing, that he needed you to live. Meaning, take care of yourself and get out and live life. And trust that that's the best thing for him. That doesn't mean abandoning him. That doesn't mean leaving him behind. It means taking care of yourself so that you're healthy and strong. You're fulfilling yourself with things that you're passionate about or care about, or things that you enjoy doing. And it's going to fill your spirit so that you'll be happier and more apt to help your other son. He said, yeah, Mom, that would make me happy, really happy. He said, I want you to go out and do something fun. You're welcome, Kathy. He is. He really is. And he loves you so much. If your other son is anything like him, then you're a very blessed lady. Very blessed. And I am really sorry for your loss. But remember that you've still got another that needs you, and this one is still with you. You just have a different kind of relationship now, but he couldn't love you any more than he does right now. He said, yeah, Mom, what she said. funny. I just asked him if he had anything else to say, and he said, "No, this is exhausting." He said, "I think I said it all." It's probably taken a lot of energy for him to say all that. I know, Renee, me too. Ugh. It's beautiful though, Kathy. I hope that this has given you the answers that you need, given you some comfort. I can't pretend to know what you're thinking and feeling and how you are dealing with this, because I can't. But I can tell you that your son loves you tremendously, and he wants to see you happy. So the best way you can honor him and his memory is by loving yourself and taking care of you. And you never forget him, so he's gonna live on. And you guys can still have a relationship together. You can talk to him just like we're talking right now, just like he's right there in the room with you, because he is. And he hears every word. So just talk to him in the car, talk to him, while you're cooking, while you're cleaning. And if you start feeling like you're having a conversation, like almost like you're hearing him in your head and you guys are talking back and forth, then you probably are. Sometimes that happens when you start to talk to your loved one every day. You'll actually start to feel like you carry on a conversation in your head with them, and you'll just think it's your imagination, but it's not. It's actually them coming through, and you're actually channeling them. So the more you do talk to him, the more better chance you have of that happening, and you'll actually hear him. And then you'll have proof that he's right there. Yeah. I know, I could use some of his energy right now, but I think he's drained it all. All right, Kathy, well, that was a beautiful reading, and I am honored that you allowed me to be a part of it. So thank you very much. And I want to thank all of you for joining me. I'm going to wrap up now. I'll still wait for Kathy's response, but it's going to take a minute. Also, Kathy, hope you're hanging in there in Florida. Hope everything resumes back to normal as soon as possible for you. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. You've been wonderful. These have been some really great readings, and I'm glad I took the time to do them. And, I love you all very, very much. And just spending time with you guys makes me very happy, even when I'm tired or not feeling good. So I always enjoy doing it, and that's why I push through it and do it, even when I'm not quite 100%, because I get so much out of it. I really do. I get just as much out of it, I think, or close. Maybe not exactly what you guys do, but I get a lot out of it. I love you too, Renee. Thank you. Thank you, Tosh. Well, I'm glad you joined me. We did get together then, didn't we? You've been wanting to. We'll have to this week. We'll have to make that happen. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and log off, or off live. But Kathy, I'm still gonna watch for your response because it'll still come up in the comments even after I hang up on here. Oh, thank you, Stacy. You're welcome. Okay, you guys. You guys have a wonderful Friday. Have a, well, Saturday, Renee. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Okay, so have a wonderful weekend. Oh, wait, Kathy got back just in time. Awesome, Kathy. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I will, Tosh. I'll um I'll try to message you tonight, but by the time I clean up everything, I might crash and forget, so I will tomorrow, okay? All right, you guys. I love you all. You have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Namaste, and I will see you right back here next week, okay? Bye.